So let me get this straight. You were a former dinosaur who got hit with a nuclear bomb, and that's the reason you are the way you are?
Close enough.
If you're a Godzilla fan, there's no doubt in my mind that Shin Godzilla needs no introduction. It's such a unique take on the character that still encapsulates the pure spirit of the 1954 original. Whether you love it or hate it, Shin Godzilla has become a modern classic, as well as one of the most recognizable faces of the franchise. That being said, with how beloved Shin Godzilla is, you'd think there'd be at least some decent figures. For a while, I've noticed how Shin Godzilla usually gets the short end of the stick when it comes to the action figure scene. Take a look at the Bandai movie Monster series Shin. It's barely got any red paint on it, only on the chest and the tip of the tail. This doesn't capture the truly grotesque nature of Shin Godzilla at all. The NECA Shin Godzilla figure does have a better paint job, but its proportions are just completely wrong. Don't even get me started on that weirdly divided tail. What the heck kind of pose are we supposed to get out of that? And what sucks about all of this is that the prototype version looked way better. It still has the same problem with the tail, but at least the overall proportions are more correct than the final one. Who was responsible for this? The MonsterArts version does seem a little better, but I do have my gripes with it. For instance, the red underneath the charcoal gray isn't brought out enough, and there's just something about that face that seems a bit off. The Super 7 Ultimate Shin Godzilla, they used a fan model for this figure. A fan model! How do you let this happen? And don't even get me started on the Playmates one. Please, don't. Each of these figures has their own pros and cons, but none of them satisfy my taste for a Shin Godzilla that is accurate, has a good paint job, and is just an overall marvel to look at. I was starting to worry that I'd never get a Shin Godzilla for my collection. This is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla vs. Evangelion Shin Godzilla figure from Universal Japan. I found it at the Comic-Con near my city and decided to pick it up for around $150. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the tag, but then again, I'd probably have to pay even more if it did have it. Now let me tell you why this might be one of the best items in my collection so far. The overall sculpt will be the exact same as the standard movie Monster Series sculpt, which also means that it'll have the same points of articulation. But given how this figure is an exclusive, I don't want to move any of its joints. I know I complained about the standard movie Monster Series earlier, but I do really like the sculpt. It just needed a good paint job and better creative decisions to complement all of the details. That's where this figure outshines the rest. The vinyl itself is actually a slightly translucent red with the metallic gray painted over it to get the same effect seen in the actual movie. It strikes the perfect balance between making an accurate product while adding enough creativity to make it shine, especially with the metallic paint choices. The eyes will be pure white without any black pupils, but I won't dock points for that just because it still looks awesome. There's a simple rule I go by when it comes to accuracy, and that is, if you're gonna change something from the original design, at least make it look good. I'm 99% sure that they just didn't want to paint the pupils, but I still think it works in its favor. The teeth are painted a nice bone color, and rather neatly too. The same color will be on the claws of Godzilla's toes. For some reason, there's one claw that isn't painted on each foot, and the claws on the hand aren't painted either. It's not a big problem in my opinion, but I will remove a point for that. That's the only real problem I have with this figure. Everything else looks really amazing. It's accurately sculpted, well painted with great color choices, and balances accuracy with creative visual appeal. Overall, I'll give this figure a 9 out of 10, 4.5 stars out of 5. Now, I know I made this figure out to be the only good Shin Godzilla figure. Little do you know, I'm a YouTuber, so it's my responsibility to lie to you so you can watch my videos. That being said, let me leave you with a positive note. As much as a good handful of Shin Godzilla figures failed to deliver, there are some genuinely good looking ones that have come out. The Fortnite combat version of the MonsterArts Shin Godzilla solves nearly all the problems that I had with the original release, making the red more present on the figure. See how much better a simple change can make it look? Also, check out the Kaiju King series' Shin Godzilla Luminous Color version. It's a little big for my liking, but you can't deny that they nailed the paint job here. I'm not even an Android collector, but you can't deny that their Shin Godzilla looks awesome. This all just goes to show that even in a world where things may seem boring, or you hate school or your job, and you just can't seem satisfied, there's always something out there to look forward to. You just gotta get out there and find it. Happy 10 years, Shin Godzilla. You've come a long way. Man, I was literally talking about pieces of plastic shaped like radioactive dinosaurs just a few seconds ago. Here, watch a video about Godzilla going gambling. Or if you want more reviews like this, you can also check out this playlist. Personally, I recommend the gambling video.